Hey everybody, it's Kelly with Inky Hands Warm Hearts. How are you guys? I am so grateful to be here with you today, and I am so grateful that you showed up on my channel and are watching my video. Thank you so much for that. I am bringing you the best butterflies stamp set this week, and this video is to make this super awesome Sending All the Love card. I just love the butterflies in this die set. The gorgeous paper that coordinates is amazing. It is part of a suite in our annual catalog, and it is something that you can purchase in order to earn some free products during celebration. So celebration started on July 1st, and it goes until the end of August. Well, this is the suite. It's $67.50, and if you purchase the suite, you'll get the stamp set and the dies. You'll get the gorgeous paper that we're going to use on this card, and these really cute little flower embellishments. And if you add some cardstock, you can end up getting 2 free items, which free is always awesome, right? So if you have any questions about celebration, definitely send me a message. I would be happy to help you. We're going to go ahead and start making this awesome card. I also added this die set, and if you add that to the purchase of your suite, you will be on your way to earning 2 free items. So definitely check it out. This is called Stylish Shapes, and I've used them for this banner here and for this circle back here. I love the little piercing look that gives you around your die cuts. So check that out as well. All right, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to grab stuff from my basket here. And we are going to start with a piece of Night of Navy. This is 8.5 by 5.5, and it's been scored at 4 1/4. And so we are going to go ahead and press that in half and go ahead and score along that folder there. That's going to be the base of our card. Then I cut a piece of DSP from the matching paper in this beautiful pattern, which is 5 1/4 by 4 inches. We're going to go ahead and add that right onto the top of our card. All right, let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to use my seal adhesive. So this is my base. All right. Now, our next piece is going to be this circle. And like I said, I did cut that from these circles here. So it is the second largest, so not the very last one, but the next one down. That's the size. And then the butterfly was cut from our dies in the best butterfly. I think they're called Build a Butterfly dies. And this is the butterfly that I cut out. And I cut that out in Night of Navy. And so I wanted to attach that onto my card where it was kind of raised up, because this is just going to get glued straight down. So I'm going to use a little bit of wet adhesive. I'm going to bring my silicone mat in here. I'm going to put a little bit of wet adhesive on here. And we're going to go ahead and attach our circle onto our card. Right about there. Looks good to me. I'm trying to do the best I can, because, you know, no one's perfect, and we're just eyeballing. It's a handmade card, so we just do the best we can, right? So we'll push that down. And then I want to put, right down that center section, I want to put some dimensionals. So I like to save the dimensionals that are on the edge when you're done with your dimensionals. And so this is a strip that I used all the ones from the middle. And so I'm just working my way down now, and I'm cutting these little strips when I need a spot there that's thin. So these 3 should work. So we're going to put one here. And then I'm going to put one at the top and one at the bottom. So there's the other one. And here's the last one. So now the center of my butterfly has those little dimensional strips that I've cut. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the backs off of those. I like to use my Take Your Pick tool to grab those. To me, it's just nice and clean. They all stay stuck to my Take Your Pick tool, and I can take it right to the trash can and purge them. So we're going to put my butterfly on. Let me move that around and get it centered here in the center of my circle. All right, so there's my butterfly, and I can mess with the wings once it's glued down there. So it just gives it a little bit of height or fight or flight or whatever you want to call it. Okay, so let's work on this bottom section. So this bottom section, we're using a banner die, and let me grab the dies again. It's this largest banner right here. So I cut one of those out, and you can see on here, I don't have that peak. It's going to be cut off. So what we're going to do is we are combining two different sentiments. On the best butterflies, you have all the love here, and then you have sending good vibes. So I want the word sending, and then I want all the, and then I'm going to do love separately. So this is how we're going to do this. This is kind of exciting. I'm going to teach you how to kind of put them all together. So we're going to start with the sending, and I'm going to grab my ink pad. I'm going to move these to the side here. And I'm going to ink up just the word sending in my ink pad. This is my Fresh Freesia ink pad. And so that's the only word that has any ink on it. So I'm going to come over here to my little banner. And I'm going to stamp that right here. And there I have the word sending. Okay? Now I'm going to go ahead and clean that stamp and put it away because we are done with the sending good vibes stamp. Now we're going to find our all the love stamp, okay? So here it is. So now I just want all the. So what I can do is two things. I can get a piece of tape, which is what I'm going to do. Just some Scotch tape. And I'm going to place it on the word love. And I'm going to cover that up so that the tape is over that stamp. So the only thing that shows here is all the. And so I want to make sure that it's on there nice, that it's not impeding my other stamp. So I'll run my nail there just to make sure. And now I'm just going to ink up all the, and it doesn't matter if I get ink on the word love because I'm going to peel this off. Okay. And now there's no glue, or no, not glue. There's no ink on the word love because I had a piece of tape on there, right? And now I don't. So now we're going to line that up. I'm going to bring this down so I can see. And I'm going to stamp all the right there. So now I have sending all the. Pretty good so far. Now we're going to do the word love at the bottom. Now I want this piece to be straight on this end, so I'm just going to take, well actually I'm going to close this temporarily. We're going to use that in a second. But I'm going to take my banner and I'm going to trim it right there, right on that edge, okay? Make sure it's straight. So that way I have a straight end on that side. And I'm going to go ahead and attach that down onto my card. So I'm going to use some wet adhesive, just like I did before. This multi-purpose. If I can get it going, there we go. All right. We're going to stick this down. That's why I cut that one end, and it's going to be over here on the side underneath our circle there. And it says sending all the. Now we need the word love. So I have a little scrap paper here. And I'm going to use my Night of Navy ink. So let me grab my Night of Navy ink pad. And now we're going to stamp the word love. And so I'm just going to try and get the word love. But it's okay if I get the other because I'm going to be cutting this apart. And so it's really okay if I get a little ink. Let me grab a scrap paper to stamp on. I always like to use a scrap paper. And I'll put my little piece here, and I'm gonna actually bring it down so I can see a little better, and then I'm gonna stamp the word love. All right, so there's my word love. And I'm gonna go ahead and clean my stamp, and I'm gonna actually let this sit to the side for a minute and let it really soak into the paper and dry. And I'm gonna clean my stamp, and then the other thing that I'm gonna do is we're gonna stamp the inside of our card while we're waiting for that last section there. So I'm gonna go ahead and squeak, squeak, squeak. All right, we're gonna put inside a piece of white cardstock. So this is gonna be the piece, and it's 5 1/4 by 4 inches. And before we put it in there, I'm gonna stamp on it. So I'm gonna stamp a little butterfly in the corner, and I'm gonna build it with this stamp. So I'm gonna take my fresh freesia, and I'm gonna stamp my butterfly wings, and then I'm gonna turn it around, and I'm gonna stamp my butterfly wings right there. And then I'm gonna stamp the body on my butterfly, just like that. So there's my cute little butterfly. And I'm gonna use my blending brush, and I'm gonna add a little bit, where's my scrap paper? Here it is. I'm gonna smudge a little off. I'm gonna add a little bit of a glow around that butterfly. Let's put it up on here and make sure if I wanna get off the edge here, I can. There we go. So I'm just gonna add a little glow around that butterfly. Doesn't that look cute? So I'm going to close that and put my blending brush away. Let me clean my little butterfly stamp. Get everything ready to go. All our stamps, I think, are clean. I don't know. Oh, I did clean that one. I forgot. That was the squeaky one. Okay, and let's go ahead and insert this butterfly. Just going to use my seal adhesive. I'm going to put this on the inside of the card. Here we go. All right, now by this point, we should be good to start cutting out the word love. So I don't want it to be separated, and I kind of want it to be popped up like I did here. So I'm going to take my word, and I'm going to grab my paper snips, and I'm going to come in here, and I'm going to start cutting around the E. Work my way in there, come out the other side, and I'm going to fussy cut this out as 4 separate letters. So I'm working my way around, and you can see it's not that hard. It's not that hard to do. I'm going to hold on, but I definitely wanted to make sure that my ink was dry before I started trying to get around it with my holding these tiny pieces with my fingers. So there's our E. I'm going to put it right there so I don't lose it. Let's move on to the V. So we got that one going. Let's come around here. I'm going to dip just a tiny bit down into that V. I love these paper snips because they do allow us to get into these tight little spaces. I'm going to come in from the other side. There we go. A little separation there in between the V, even though it's a tight one. And then let's go ahead and come around this side and down, and we'll be done with the V. Now you don't have to do this. You could just pop the whole word up if you wanted to. I don't mind fussy cutting. It's very relaxing to me, so I tend to do it often. And the more you fussy cut, the better you get at it. So I do recommend that if you don't like doing it, that you do it occasionally so that you can get a little better at it. And I think the better you get at it, the more you don't mind. All right, so we're almost done with our O here. We're working our way around. All right, and our last letter is our L, so we will work our way around this L. Now that everything else is out of the way, super easy to get in here. Work our way around the top and around, and we'll be ready to put some adhesive on the back of it. And I'm going to use the same strips like I made for the center of the butterfly, so we're gonna grab that same little ends. It's nice that you can use up, right, all your parts and pieces of your Stampin' Dimensionals. So we are going to use this piece again, and I'm going to flip these letters over, and I'm going to put these little strips onto my letters. So we'll start over here, and we're going to do down the L. And I'm going to pull them off one at a time. It just seems to work better when you do that. And we'll do the, I'm going to skip the O for right now because I think I want a little bit larger piece. It's just a big open spot. And let's do the other side of the V. Perfect. All right, now I have this section here where I have a little bit for that L. So I'm going to cut this small piece, and it does cut it off, so I have to peel the back off and then put it on, but it's worth the effort. So I'm going to do that. Let's move the card out of the way so you guys can see what I'm doing. There we go. So there's my L. My L is ready to be glued, and my V is ready. Let's do the E. We'll go over here and we'll do a nice long strip for the E. Right down that center, that should be fine. And then I need a section for my O. So I'm just gonna take this larger section here, and instead of cutting it as a narrow strip, I'm just gonna cut a decent sized piece, and it is a little wide. I'm just gonna trim, I cut it just a smidge wide. I'm gonna narrow that down a little bit. There we go. I'm gonna put that in the center of my O. Okay, so let me grab my Take Your Pick tool. We'll pull the backs off of these letters. So we'll start with our L, get those off, and our V, and our E. Whoops, wants to stick to my finger. There we go. And here's the center of our O. Let's get that back off. All right, so let's go ahead and glue these down. So we have L. Let's move it over. Hopefully I weren't out of camera here. So I'm just going to start stacking these letters. Let's put the O, and then the V, and then the E. I love that. It turned out awesome, don't you think? Now, we have these pearls that are super, super cool, and they're purple. And they're all these different tones of purple. I'm trying to find you a full pack because the pack that I'm using, here we go. This is what they look like. And there's pink that's hiding underneath this section over here. So it's pink and then these different purples. This grayish light purple here, I like to use those to turn it into different colors. And that's what I did right here. I used my Stampin' Blend, my Night of Navy Stampin' Blend. This is the dark. And I colored those gray ones. And you can see I've colored them another color here for another project. But I've colored these gray ones. And I'm going to use those because I wanted navy and I didn't have any navy. And so I just wanted to show you that you could make your own. If you take a lighter colored embellishment and you use your Stampin' Blends, you can make whatever color you want. So I'm going to put one there. I'm going to put one a little higher. And then we'll put one down here, maybe right here. And there we go. I love how this card turned out. I hope that you guys love it too. It certainly was fun to work on. And it wasn't too long, too hard of a project, fairly quick card, but I think it's a really pretty card, and I think that anyone that you make it for would love to get it. So thanks again for watching. If you do not have a demonstrator, I would love to be your demonstrator. Definitely hit that subscribe button, give me a thumbs up, and share my video. You can also share it to your Pinterest and save it to watch at a later time. That way you don't have to search through all my videos to try and find this video again if it's a card that you'd like to make. I appreciate you guys being here, so definitely come back again, and I look forward to seeing you next time. This is Kelly with Inky Hands Warm Hearts. Happy stamping!